got super discouraging. It became, well, what's wrong? What is it? Is it me? Is it my resume? Is it my experience? Did I not go to a good enough college? Is it my name? Like, what could it possibly be about me that I'm not even prompting a screening phone call?
Welcome back to Answer the Call podcast, where we help Christians faithfully discern their calling and then land a job that's aligned with it. I have another client success story to highlight today because yes, people are still landing jobs in this market. And yes, you can still land a job close to the holidays because we are recording this in November, right as the holidays are kicking into gear. So I hope that I don't even hope, I know this call is going to be an inspiration to people who are applying right now and at any time in the year. So I have Alex here with me. She is an expert operations leader in the healthcare space, and she landed a job without even applying to it. Yes, that's right. She did it. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty about what wasn't working in her job search, what we changed, what did eventually work to ultimately land her that job, again, without applying. And also, I'll just throw in this here as well, dream company. So without applying and at a dream company, I'm so excited to share that with everybody. Hi, Alex. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Audrey. That is quite an introduction. I think I need to have, I'm going to keep this recording and I'm going to play it to myself every morning.
Yes, your morning affirmations. I landed a job
Absolutely.
without applying and at a dream company over and over and over again.
You make me sound so important. I love it. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to speak with you again, and I can't wait.
Oh, good. Okay, let's just jump into the story. I promise, listener who's eager to hear about how this all worked out, we're going to get there very shortly. But I do want to start with where you were before career coaching, because you had mentioned feeling discouraged and confused because you were applying to a lot of things. You felt like you were qualified, probably even overqualified for these positions, and you weren't getting any bites. And this was for months. I think a lot of people can relate to that. So can you share more of what did this look like as you were trying to make this transition? What were you feeling?
Yeah, sure. So maybe like some people out there, probably not the smart people, but I resigned from my position without a real plan. I naively thought, okay, well, I'll take a couple of weeks off and I'll apply and I'm going to get a job right away and it's going to be easy peasy, no big deal. I got this. And then I, logged into Indeed and LinkedIn and quickly found out that was not exactly going to be the case, but that was okay. So I just spent time trying to apply. This position looks amazing. It's not far from my house, easy commute, the salary's great. Apply. Crickets. Okay, no big deal. Let's try another one. No? Okay. And another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. So at one point I was up to, I forget the exact number, but it was over 30 applications that I had sent out, probably within about a 3 to 4 week period with exactly 0 responses. Not a follow-up, not a, hey, how are you? Not a thanks for applying, other than the automated. So I was like, whoa, something's wrong. Something's really wrong. And it got super discouraging. It became, well, what's wrong? What is it? Is it me? Is it my resume? Is it my experience? Did I not go to a good enough college? Is it my name? Like, what could it possibly be about me that I'm not even prompting a screening phone call? So yeah, just that thinking, why isn't it working? And then you find out, you see everybody else. Well, it's not just me, it's everybody else. However, I'm not good with that answer. I'm not okay with, well, it's happening to everybody else. I'm a little bit more of well, I see it's a trend, but people are getting jobs all the time, and I'm going to be one of them, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. So that's how I found you guys. I was really stuck and looking to see how I was going to separate myself from all the other applicants and what can I do to make them call me instead of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the first foray into meeting with the cold career with you and with Kelsey and kicking off this journey.
Yeah, absolutely. That I think is so relatable. And there is a good percentage of people who leave a job without having something lined up, despite all of the voices yelling at you, you have to have it lined up, you have to. Um, I do support the leaving without something lined up. Sometimes, there's wisdom in both sides of it. But like I was saying, very relatable for a lot of people out there. So all of this led you to seeking out coaching. So what prompted you to look into coaching versus something like a different route of Headhunter or maybe just strictly resume writing services?
For sure. So that was my first go-to, right? Because,
Mhm.
well, there's something wrong with my resume. It has to be my resume because it's not me. So, I searched out, and that was not cheap. That was pretty costly. So, and again, not wanting to spend a little bit of money and not get the results I wanted, I was looking for somebody that was really seasoned, and that was gonna put a little dent in the budget of my $0 income. So, I was doing my research. I was trying to figure it out. So then your brain kind of comes up with the story in the background. And I said, well, maybe it's not my resume. Maybe these positions are filled before they're posted because you read about crazy things. So I'm like, well, I should go with a headhunter then, because let me cut the line. Let me get ahead of everybody. Let me pay somebody to make a connection for me and go that route. And that was what I was planning on doing. And I was researching who I was going to talk to, how I was going to get it done. And then I stumbled upon a post that actually Kelsey had made about a similar scenario, almost exactly what I was going through. And I was like, well, coaching? I don't need a coach. Like, I'm confident. I know how to speak with people. I know I'm going to get a job. Like, I don't need coaching. I just need somebody to, but actually I decided to take her up on the free consult because it was so relatable, and find out that yes, it's coaching. Yes, it's trying to get you better, but there's also a pathway to success. And the team really was able to lay that out for me. So that way I could do it and I could find the job that I wanted, not a job that somebody that I was going to have to pay a lot of money would find for me. I was able to then find ultimately my dream career, my dream place. So, it's quite a journey for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how you flipped that at the end there, or how you structured that, thinking of you still have a lot of control in this process when you're doing coaching, because rather than us coming in and doing it all for you, we're building you up to be able to do it in a way that's going to work. And then the idea is you can take those skills with you beyond this one experience, versus a headhunter is more transactional. Oh, like, this is what I need. This is what you need to deliver. And, which is great. And that works for some people. But if you're really looking for that coaching experience, like you had mentioned, you knew something was wrong. You knew all of the pieces
Mm-hmm.
should be coming together to make sense, but something's wrong. And that's such a good opportunity for coaching to come in, for a coach to come in and just say, okay, yeah, like, let's figure out what it is. And it's just so much more gray versus black and white a lot of times.
Sure.
And there's a
And
lot
it
more
was for
space.
me. It
Yeah.
absolutely was for me. I think
Yeah.
I'm a perfect testament to that, where, okay, we put it on paper, everything looks good. When you get me in an interview, everything looks good. But how do you connect those dots to make it happen?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think the coaching aspect of it, even though definitely not something I thought I would be sitting here speaking to you about, that I was going to hire a coach. Even my husband was like, "You're hiring a coach? You are hiring a coach?"
That's awesome.
uh, yeah. So, but I think it really, and for me, I'm a doer. I get my hands dirty. I'm in the trenches with whatever it is. So for me, having that pathway, you really had helped guide, and it's really the guidance. That's probably the better word I'm looking for. It's not, you need to do this, you need to do this, and we're going to beat you over the head because this is this is how it's going to work. It's, well, what are you doing? How did that work? Okay, well, so far, other success stories, our other clients have found that X, Y, and Z has worked. So why don't you try it? If it doesn't work, then So it's really kind of that gentle push in the direction, But ultimately, I was still able to retain that I'm doing what I want to do. I think I kind of understand what's going to be best for my scenario with the support of you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear all of that. And to clarify for listeners as well, Alex was part of our Job Accelerator program, which you won't see this on our website yet. We'll add it soon, probably. But
A
it's
beta
definitely a way
tester.
that we can. What was that?
I was a little bit of a beta tester.
Yeah. And it's a really good beta test. So basically, our Job Accelerator program is just resume and LinkedIn writing and job searching. So Alex came in with clarity. She knew the kind of role that she was looking for, and we were able to just come in on the job searching front. So you hear a lot of these success stories of helping people find clarity, which we love to do. That's our specialty in one area, and then another area is just actually helping people land the job. So that's a little bit more information about Alex's program that she did. If you're interested, book a call with Kelsey. There's a link on our website, of course, and then in the show notes, and she can talk to you more about that. But I think it's just time to get into the nitty gritty of how did this all work out, right? Because networking, I'm using air quotes, can feel very mysterious or kind of elusive. Like, what is this networking people speak of? And how does it actually lead to things? Because when I network, I end up just getting coffee with a bunch of people and learning just about their lives, and nothing comes from it. So I want to break down how you really leaned into networking to make it work for you. And because there were a lot of elements to landing this job, right? But ultimately, it was
Hmm.
through connection. So through coaching, how did you start to leverage your existing network more effectively in your job search?
Yeah, I think you worded that perfectly. So before I had started with this program, I was networking how I thought I should network. So I was calling everybody I knew. Hey, I'm looking for a job. Do you know anybody? Do you know anything? And that's all good. Oh yeah, if I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Classic.
Okay. So if somebody had a job at that moment, I have no doubt that they would have said, oh yeah, call this person, call that person, blah, blah, blah. But in the real world, that's not how it works. There is not just this magic position that someone's waiting for me to call and say, I'm available. It doesn't
Yeah.
really work like that, at least in my experience. Probably has worked like that for somebody. But yeah, so what I did differently, which ultimately wound up being effective, was some of those people that I initially had connected with before um, following kind of the more structured protocol. Um, I just made the conversations, I made the emails a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more pointed, and very much more question, something to answer, not just a, hey, I'm out here, good to talk to you, hope all is well. A little bit more of I'm available, this is what I'm really, really good at, this is why it'd be amazing for your company. When are you available? I'm available these days. Which of these would work better for you? So having that structure and the time follow-ups, the recommendations of how often should you follow up, or should you not, or how does that work? That wound up being the most effective. I wound up being able to connect with somebody who connected me with somebody who connected me with somebody else, and that's ultimately how I wound up in this position that I've accepted this week. So the networking that I know, like kind of like you said, the coffee talk, hanging out, getting to know
Mhm.
each other, that's all great. But at the end of the day, this is the business I was in. I'm in the business of getting a job right now. So it's not my expertise. I'm not really, I was at the same company for almost 13 years, pretty much, over sale of business. I haven't done this in a long time. I've been on the hiring side, but I haven't been on the recruitable side. So
Mm.
having that um, switching my, you know, Hail Mary throwing a Hail Mary versus pointed, meaningful. And I think meaningful is probably the most important conversations with people that matter, not just whatever recruiter I can find on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that switch is ultimately what made the whole thing possible.
Yeah. Yeah. The decision maker. The main things that I'm hearing from that is talking to decision makers and having a call to action in the message that you're sending or the phone call that you're having. So, because when you call somebody, let's say you're doing it over a phone call, and say, oh, I'm looking for a job. Let me know if you have anything. You're adding to their to-do list, right? You're saying, oh, like, put me on your to-do list to think about my career and how you could serve me and help me out. Flipping that to calling them and saying, hey, here's what I'm doing. I know your team's doing this. If you have a position that's open that could allow me to step into XYZ to help solve these problems on your team, I want to have that conversation. That doesn't add something to their to-do list. It actually takes something off of it, because on their to-do list is find someone who can do X, Y, and Z. And you're now solving their problems before you're even in a role, and you're helping them out. And that, I mean, you just said you've been on the hiring side. Hiring's a lot of work. Hiring is a lot of work. And if you just have someone magically pop into your inbox, wow, what a blessing. What a blessing that is.
I think that's so well said. That's, I think, perfectly mentioned how, I became, maybe an extreme word, but I became a burden to them. Okay, well, maybe I'll see if somebody, now I got to remember to mention this person. If they even were going to do that at all, right? Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were. Who knows? But I think it goes from a task, one more thing I got to do before I go home, to, oh, I've really been looking for somebody that could do that. Or, you know what, I was just talking to Mary and she was complaining that her team doesn't blah, 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 right? And then you just have to, again, gently guide to that right place and to that connection where things just kind of click.
Yeah, absolutely. Figure out what they need, become the solution, if it makes sense. That's the game changer. That's what we tell people, and that's what we can showcase in your story specifically. So with this role that you landed, can you explain how there wasn't even really a role posted for this, or how you got through without traditionally applying?
Yeah, so again, sending those follow-up emails that we had just talked about, meaningful follow-up emails. Hey, I just want to let you know I updated my resume and I've been working on X, Y, and Z. And, hey, keep me in mind, or, I'm happy to talk to whoever you think will be helpful for me to talk to this day, that day, this day, or whatever the exact email was. And funny enough, when I sent that last email, who was not the hiring manager, I was able to see the email chain, and funny enough, it went from the person I sent it to the next person, to the next person, then to me. So it kind of, it butterfly affected, and like that was just so beautiful that it just was meaningful. Things happened. So my response when I got that email back was, hey, are you available for an appointment for an interview tomorrow, or whatever day it was? It was like the next day. We'd love to meet you. And I think I even mentioned to you, I'm like, should I ask what the position's for? Should I just go in blind? Or, I mean, obviously the answer is yes, but what if it's, I don't know, laying bricks, or I have no idea what this could possibly be. Of course, none of that wound up being true. But so it really, the position was posted online. I actually didn't even see it, didn't apply for it. It was posted the day before. So the timing was just perfect, where I just happened to do my daily due diligence, my daily follow-up emails, just happened to be the next one on the list that I was supposed to send, and the timing was right, and all the stars aligned.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's such a great example of how, right, no such thing as coincidences. Obviously, God is working all of this together, but he has to have something. I mean, I guess he doesn't have to. He can do whatever. But he wants to have something to bring together. So you have to offer something up for him to make something happen. And what I mean by that is, the role was posted the day before. You just happened to do this due diligence, this follow-up. That is such a good picture of why you need to be taking these actions without totally knowing how it's going to all work out. You need to have the faith, right? To send the email, send the follow-up, reach out to this person that probably maybe sort of is not the right kind of contact, but they can get you to the right contact eventually. They can forward the email chain around the office.
Yeah,
And
and even that day, if I just decided, I'm gonna skip my emails today,
mm,
I'm discouraged, nobody's gotten back to me, I am still applying, and I heard back from one person instead of zero, I'm going to the beach today. I am not sending another email. If I had skipped that day, I wouldn't be sitting here on this podcast with you. And I think that's so critical. And I've shared this on some of the other calls, some of the group calls that we had, is just send it. Send the email. Just get it done. What are they going to say? No. What are they going to ghost you? Okay. Add it to the list of people that do that. So
mhm.
just, and I think it's a perfect, perseverance. Just sticking with it no matter what, even when I don't feel like doing it or when I'm feeling super defeated or don't think it's going to be effective. You know what? I had no idea that email that day was going to be effective.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it can feel like a black hole when you are sending out these emails and you're getting no responses. It can feel like a black hole. I totally get that. But this joy is what you get on the other side of the black hole. The metaphor is kind of falling through. But um just
there's
keep
something
doing
in
it.
there. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll,
You
we'll
don't
talk about it later.
right. You don't know how it's gonna all come together, and you're not supposed to know how. That's what demands faith from you. And that's such a
Sure.
beautiful thing. And to be able to look back on how all of that came together, um, it's just awesome. So you had mentioned something because you just mentioned the group calls. You'd mentioned something about the coaching experience kind of making job searching feel human again. Can you elaborate on how that changed your perspective?
Yeah. So, first of all, I loved also the group part
Mhm.
of it, which I did not think I was going to initially. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, great. I have to get on a call with a bunch of strangers and tell them my biggest upsetments and disappointments and how I'm failing every day. Great. I can't
Yes.
wait to get on this call. So excited to talk to all these people about what a loser I am. Turned out to be anything but. It turned out to be actually such an amazing place and such it did make it feel human again. That was the word I used because, you're sitting here and you're like, all these people, you clicked on whatever application, 500 people have applied or 4,000 people have applied, and you sit here and you're like, well, why not me? Like, how come they didn't call me back? But anyway, you're sitting on the group calls and you're like, oh, they're qualified too. Okay, that makes sense. So maybe I just got lost in the pile. So maybe it's not me because all these people are super qualified too, and they're all lovely and they're all um, wanting the same things I do, maybe in a different industry or whatever. And I think it made it a little bit more human. And even when you're sitting on the call and I got on the calls and I'm like, I am down and out. I have nothing left. I don't know what I'm doing. Nothing's working. Throwing spaghetti against the wall, nothing's sticking. And then you're sitting there and you see somebody and, maybe they smile or chuckle or whatever. Maybe they make no face. But then later on the call, they'll be like, you know what? I was there yesterday, Alex, and today I got an email. You're right. And then the next call I get on, I'm like, oh my God, somebody answered. And then I have somebody else that was on that call with me 3 days prior celebrating that success and made it, you know, almost had a built-in security blanket. You had a built-in group of people that really are walking the walk with you and feel all the feels, the frustration, the anger, the guilt, the happiness, the joy, the letdown, all of these things, which when you're employed, even if you're, maybe not the happiest you could be while you're employed, you definitely don't, that's not a thought I had when I was resigning, right? That I was going to go through all of these, not to get super mushy, because I'm not a mushy gushy person, but, you know, you don't really think that, oh, that won't happen to me, or I'm not going to feel that way. I'm not going to get discouraged because I know it'll happen. Well, I'm sitting here telling you that it probably will, and it did for me, and for almost everybody on the call. So the group aspect really just made it okay. Made it okay to just me going through it, the highs
Yeah,
and the lows, and there were a lot of them.
absolutely. Absolutely. And the community feature that the group calls offer gives us a really good space for y'all to just show up as you are and be honest. And that vulnerability is really what allows us to actually move forward in creativity and with really pure motivation, because when you just numb it out and you cover it up and it's like, no, I just got to keep going, keep going, keep going, you burn out. You burn out and it all hits you eventually. Maybe it hits you in the job search. Maybe it hits you 5 years later. I don't know what the Lord's plan for you there is. But with these small human connections that we get twice a week on the group calls, which I totally get. If I were joining a program and I heard group coaching, I'd be like, what? I got to talk to other people that I don't know. And now, like, when I get to tell people about our program and I talk about the group coaching, I'm like, no, it is the best thing. It's the best
It
thing.
really is. It really
Yeah.
is. And I truthfully cannot believe that I'm saying that
Yeah.
because once I found out they were optional, it's like, great. I
Yeah.
will attend exactly 0 of them. I am not going on a group call. And my camera has to be on? No.
That is so funny,
No.
Alex. I would not have imagined that at all because you were such an active participant in them. You were great. Wow, that's so good to hear. And because our group calls are typically pretty small, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
we've got fewer than 10 people for sure. Usually around 5 is typically what we're seeing. So still gets to be a more intimate group setting, but you get out of that isolation because job searching, wow, it's a lot of things, but I would say probably the number one thing is isolating because you are
Sure.
just facing rejection after rejection after rejection. Even if you are the prime candidate, I really don't see very often people stepping into, obviously I don't see it given the coaching industry that I'm in, people come to me when they need help. But even with outside of the people I get to serve, I don't see it very often where people come to a job search and they get the first job that they apply to. You are almost certainly going to be dealing with rejection, and that is so hard. So to have some coaches, energizer bunnies, to help you through it, and then also to be with people who are not your coaches, who are actually also going through the same thing. I really don't think there's a better way to do it, which is why we offer the group coaching in the first place.
See,
So
you guys got it all together.
we try. We always take feedback.
I will say I'm going to miss the group calls for sure. I won't be sad about sharing my sadnesses and my upsetments at all. But I am so rooting for the people that I've been on the calls with since
Mhm.
I've been in this program. I gotta
Mhm.
know how their story continues to go. Like I gotta catch up. Like some nights I want to sit there and eat some popcorn and just be like, ooh, that happened, or woohoo, that happened today. Finally, whatever it is. So we're gonna have to figure something out about that. We're gonna
Yeah,
have to,
absolutely, absolutely. You have to keep a close eye on the podcast too, see what success
yes,
stories are coming out.
absolutely.
Um, and yeah, there is this quality of life, honestly, that gets better in the job searching phase when you also start to invest in other people's stories. And it's not all me, me, me the whole time. You're also invested in some other stories. And it just helps take again, that isolation, helps attack the isolation, right? And bring you out of that. So, along those same lines, how did coaching ultimately help you? No, I'm trying to come up with a better segue. There's no segue. Let me just ask a totally different question. How did coaching
Pause,
help you?
pivot,
Right.
go.
We're pivoting. Um, work smarter. I don't want to say instead of harder because you're a hard worker. You're always going to work hard. And I really respect that about you. But how'd you add some smarter strategies in there too?
Yeah, so one thing for myself, um, I really try, which I'm not always very good at this, so I do really spend energy on this. I try to admit when I don't really know what I'm doing. Maybe not
Mhm.
publicly, but definitely to myself. Um, so I realized pretty quickly I was in way over my head. So in my previous role, when I didn't know what to do, I had somebody to call. I always knew the right person to call, and they always told me how to do it, when to do it, whatever. Um, so that's really what made it easier to adapt some of these changes because what I was doing it really wasn't working. So having the strategies, whether it's follow up or how to update my resume or my cover letter or whatever it is, having to implement them in a different way was something I was looking to do. So it wasn't incredibly difficult for me to commit to the change, but to then follow through and keep doing it. Okay, we have to keep doing it that way. We're not going to fall back into chronic behaviors. I'm going to keep doing it this way because we're getting more success this way. And it seems silly when, things are working. Why would you change it? But, why not? So, yeah, so having those strategies in place, I definitely tried to embrace them as best as I could and really tried to have it become my new mantra, right? This is how I'm doing it from now on. The old way is dead. That doesn't exist. It's not working. It's over. This is the only way forward because you had 30 something applications with nobody answering you. So we're done. We're moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. And can we put a time frame on that as well? How long were you applying before we started working together? And then how long did you apply after we started working together?
So I'm going to say probably 2 to 3 months before I had connected with you guys. And then from then probably a little bit shy of 2 months.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It was relatively quick after joining. The interview process did wind up taking a while, and onboarding and all that. So I'm kind of went back and forth. But yeah, if we go back to when that initial interview happened, I'm going to say probably about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks from when I started with you guys.
Yeah.
So really quick in comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'm so glad. So we covered how networking actually helped you get the job. Do you want to touch real quick on how dream company, maybe not the perfect job, right? Not the dream job yet. And can you talk about how that's okay? That it's not the perfect job?
You know what? And I don't even know if I would say that it's not the perfect job, right? Because I don't know if that's exactly correct. I think that in my head, I had a different picture of what it would look like. So I don't, not correct, not perfect. It very well may be, right? I hope that it is, because obviously that's why I accepted it, right? That's why we're down this road. But I think initially where you wave your magic wand and where are you? Not exactly where I thought I was going to be, but I'm super excited about it. So yeah, I mean, if this journey has taught me anything, there's a plan. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is, but we're going to go through it. So, this company I accepted a position with, I'm super excited to work for. I do know a lot of people that work in the organization. Great culture, seems like great people, and amazing opportunities for the future. And I'm not a job hopper. I'm somebody that likes to stay put. I just love making things better and making them more effective. And it really upset me when I did wind up resigning from my former position because it was a job I thought I was going to be at forever. So yeah, dream company for sure. Dream position to be determined. If not, I really think that I'll figure out what that's going to be for sure. So we'll see. We're going to have to do part 2 of the podcast.
Yeah, follow up. See how did it all turn out? No, I really, really value that perspective. I think it's such a wise and mature perspective to have of, okay, this job looks different than I thought the job was going to look, but actually it's really good. It's really good. And I'm excited to get in here, and it's going to look different than, these 10, probably not even 10, probably 5 to 7 bullet points on a job description say, because it can only share so much. So having that willingness to try and to not be too picky, I think that's so valuable, and that creates the space for magic to happen.
Yeah, and I think too with life in general, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but if you told me when I was 15 that I'd be living on Long Island with 2 kids and, it was crazy, crazy life, that I would say that you're nuts. It was never going to happen. So I think that I think that, at least for me, I come up with a plan in my head, we come up with a
Mhm.
plan, and then it goes out the window almost immediately. So, I'm super excited about where it's going to go, and I'm really optimistic. I think it's going to be amazing, and I think it's going to be exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yes, I think so too, and I can't wait to hear about it. So, last question for you, Alex. Can you speak to somebody who might be listening who is like, career coaching? I don't really know if that's for me. What would you say to encourage them to at least just book the call, have a conversation, and look into it a little bit more?
For sure. So I think I'm one of those people, by the way.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is why you have the
for sure.
credentials to share.
I think even on my first introductory call, I think I was like, I really don't think this is for me. I just wanted to see what it's about.
I love that. I love the honesty.
Yeah, you get a lot of that with me. But I think that, coaching might not be for me. I don't know if I want to go down that path. I'm not sure if it makes sense for me. Okay, well, what are you going to lose to spend 20 or 30 minutes talking to somebody and see if it is?
Mm.
It's a small investment, and maybe it's not a fit. Maybe you have the call and you're like, you know what? Nope, not for me. I'm not committed. I'm not ready to do it. That's cool. You're not ready yet. And that's fine. I think there's a time and a place for everything. But just book it. Just do it. Just take the extra step. Just take the 10 minutes. Be vulnerable. Be brave. Do it. What do you have to lose?
Mm.
Whether you're pivoting careers like many of the people that have been on the calls were with me, and they're trying to figure it all out. You get to talk to like-minded people, or if you're someone a little bit more similar to me, where what, I just need my next career move. I just need a little bit. I know where I'm going. I just need help getting there. There's there's so much support, and there's so much um, passion. There's so much passion for this. And I think that's the difference, right? And I'm sure, like many other people that may be listening to this podcast, maybe you're thinking between this company or someone else's company, or maybe I'll just hire that headhunter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're not getting that day in, day out. I want this for you.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
deserve this. You can do this. And you could do this really, really well with just a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of guidance. And I think having that really heartfelt, um, I keep saying the word, but passion's the word that's coming to mind. Um, I think that's hard to come by. So I listen, if I could do it, you should do it. You can do it. I am extremely stubborn. So to not only admit that I needed help, but then to come on the call and then to do it and have a group call,
Mm-hmm.
so it really makes the whole transition, um, it makes it more meaningful, and it really takes that edge off of it. So I just think anybody who's on the fence should just
Just have,
dive on in,
yeah,
try try it
the
out.
vulnerability and being brave. I really appreciated how you laid that out. Um, and also your perspective of you weren't making this huge career pivot, right? You were staying in what you knew, but still bringing in some support to help on the job search front. Still, it wasn't just black and white, right? Going back to what we were saying in the beginning, there's support, encouragement, help, cheerleaders. That's what I had, the word that was coming up in my mind. I'm like, just cheering you on the whole time. Um, and encouraging you. There's still so much room for that, even if you're, I'm putting in air quotes, just changing jobs, because it's not a just. It's not easy. It's not simple. It's not the way that it used to be. So there's so much. There's such a more meaningful way to go about it, and I'd love to partner with you, listener, on that. So
And
thank you.
I would love to see the partner. I would love to see the podcast for that person that's going to partner, and we're gonna continue the circle.
Yes, because that's the cool thing, right? You get to come on the podcast and share how it all worked out. So if you're listening, you're like, wow, that could never be me. I would challenge that thought. I would challenge that belief. So, Alex, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sharing your story. You are so encouraging to me, and I know you're encouraging to the people who are listening. So, I appreciate your time
Well,
and
it
all
is
your
my pleasure. Really, truly, it's my pleasure to be on the podcast. It's really, I truly mean it's been great. I don't know if it's been great going through this journey,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
get
the best that it could have been. No, but in all seriousness, it really, you took something that was really awful, 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 and made it manageable, guided, and meaningful. And I'm forever thankful.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being here, and can't wait to follow up here soon after I get to hear, or when I get to hear about how it all turns out in this next role.
Yes.
Thanks, Alex.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. To get an even more meaningful head start into your calling, head to thecalledcareer.com, where my fellow career coach Audrey and I have created a whole suite of free resources and tools to help you get clear and get a job today. For those who are definitely ready to land a job or start a business in the next 6 to 12 months, we're here to help you biblically and practically discern your calling through coaching, reflection, and deep market research, identify the job that's aligned with it, even if you currently have no idea what you want, rebrand your resume and LinkedIn to translate your background to appeal to your future boss. P.S. We take this off your plate and do this for you. Also, we'll teach you how to land referrals and get attention from leadership through networking. Again, if that makes you nervous, we have these emails and LinkedIn messages literally written for you so you don't have to sweat. We're also here to give you unlimited interview practice so you're prepared to address every elephant in the room and knock selling yourself out of the park. Then we'll round out with helping you negotiate your salary so you land thousands more. Just so you know, recent clients have gotten $8,000 to $50,000 salary increases, even though they were totally non-traditional candidates. That's because we specialize in helping non-traditional career pivoters land jobs they're ecstatic to serve in. It takes work, but we're here to see you through until the end, when we're celebrating that day that you send me an email in all caps and you say, Kelsey, I got the job. Then you could be on the podcast. But I'll be here until then, keeping you accountable and encouraged by meeting with you literally until you land the job you want, even if that's up to 6 months from now within our program. Apply to join at thecalledcareer.com, and I'll see you next week here at Answer the Call. Bye for now.